Allison Wilkinson, Mrs. Elemental USA.
Welcome. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a few
Thank you.
questions.
Sure.
So, what do you do in your community? Like, what is your platform that is everything to you?
So I have two platforms. I have my nonprofit organization, the Queen of Bags Initiative, which gives children in foster care a reusable bag of their own. We also do Easter baskets. I currently have 68 Easter baskets in my kitchen, getting ready to go to our local foster care. I'm getting two more tomorrow from a donation, and so those will be going to our local foster care to give children in our community a little bit of love during the Easter season. And in addition to doing the book bags for foster care, I also have an organization, or it's just my platform, called Project Beauty, bringing environmental awareness upon today's youth. My husband and I are cross country coaches and track coaches at our kids' school. And through being coaches, we're also trying to mentor them, not only for running and having good sportsmanship, but to give back to their community. And we collect can tops for the Ronald McDonald House charities for them to recycle. We try to educate them on keeping a clean environment, such as our cross country course. And last year, for my iconic impact project for the Mrs. Elemental USA pageant, we did a can top collection drive at their school, and over 200 children helped collect over 160,000 can tops to be recycled for the Ronald McDonald House charities in Middle Georgia.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that is what I do.
That's amazing. So, what inspired you then to begin your work with both of your platforms and everything you do?
Well, so my oldest son, Judson, is adopted. We adopted him from birth. He was never in the foster care system, but I know that had his biological parents not made such a selfless choice to give him up, that he probably would have been in the foster care system. My mother-in-law worked for the Department of Family and Children's Services up until her retirement a few years ago. And I had heard about the trash bag story about when children go into the foster care system, that a lot of times they're given a trash bag for their belongings. And when I first heard the trash bag story, I just couldn't fathom that it was true. And so I immediately called my mother-in-law and I asked her, and she said it happens every day. Every single day, there's children in our agency that don't even have clothes that fit them. They don't have clean underwear, and it broke my heart because I knew that my baby could have been one of those children. And I know how lucky he is and how lucky we are that he didn't go through that. But I wanted to do something to help those who weren't as lucky as him. And that's how the Queen of Bags started. And we are approaching our 10-year anniversary, which is hard to believe. But so that, and then in addition to that, when he was born, we stayed in the Ronald McDonald House in Pennsylvania. And so having not only myself, but multiple friends and family members who have utilized the Ronald McDonald House, I knew that that's just something that we have always done. And so it was a great way to incorporate educating our runners and on ways that they could give back in a simple way. It's like you said, it's so easy to save that pop top and do something good with it. So by raising that awareness, we're not only helping the future generations to be those who give back, but also we're helping the environment and we're helping others in need.
I love that. Oh my goodness. What does being a woman of impact then mean to you?
To me, it just is setting an example, not only for women, but for our future generations. As a boy mom, I want them to be the type of woman that they should set the bar to marry. Like I kind of joke because they've grown up in the pageant industry. And when they get ready to start dating, I'm afraid they're going to go and be like, now, what kind of community service do you do? Do you have a nonprofit organization? And I'm okay with that. Like they should set the bar high. But really, I just, set the goal that you can, kind of like Barbie says, you can be anything and you can go and it doesn't matter if you are, 8 years old or 80 years old. You can set your bar, you can set your dreams, and you can make a lasting impact.
Barbie is always right.
Barbie is all right.
She's always right. So who is a woman then that has shaped or influenced you in your life?
Well, my mom, first and foremost. She and my grandmothers. My mom's always been one that has given back. Now that she's retired, she does a lot within our church, and so my husband and I were members of the JCs, or the Junior Chamber International, as a lot of people know that. And I'm actually a third generation JC. My parents were both JCs, and my grandparents were JCs. And my dad and I both hold the title of Georgia JC of the Year, about 30 years apart. So, I'd say it has to be my mom and my grandmother, just because they set that bar of the importance of giving back and giving to others.
What is a challenge that you have overcome that's made you stronger?
Probably the biggest challenge I've overcome was infertility issues and infertility struggles. And that is what essentially led us to the adoption process, and, really going through the struggles of infertility and getting at a crossroads where we had to decide, did we want to look at spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to do in vitro and it not work, or look at fostering or adopting. And we chose the adoption route because we knew that we would spend that money, but we knew that eventually, God would put a baby in our arms, and then we could look at in vitro after that. And essentially 2 weeks after, or 2 weeks before we were going to start the in vitro process, we had our initial meeting with a doctor in Augusta. And 2 weeks before that first meeting, I found out I was pregnant. And so my boys are 15 months apart. And, I feel like God just put us on a different path so that we could get Judson, and then we had Tucker. So I love that. It was a struggle. And at that time, I didn't really understand why that was happening. But then, of course, it made us who we are, and it made me essentially when I started pageantry, and that's that's as a result all of these great things. And so I feel like God just paved the way to get to where I needed to be, all through what at first I thought was a struggle, but it was really just God's perfect timing.
What do you hope your legacy will be?
I want to have a legacy of, being remembered for having a giving heart. I kind of used my grandmother as an example. She always did these things at church. She crocheted, and she would crochet Santa Clauses and Easter biddies, or, like a little chicken. We called them biddies. Yeah. And she'd say Santa Clauses, and she would give them to all the children at the church every year. And up until she passed away in 2017. And every year at Christmas, every year at Easter, I will get text messages. I'll get tagged in pictures of these, now adults who have 10, 15 of these Santa Clauses crochet put on their Christmas tree that she gave them every year at Christmas. And it makes me a little emotional. But I think about the love she showed people. Like she gave her time, and she gave her talents to people to show them she loved them by doing things like that. And she would make sauces for people and relish. She would just, but you had to go to her house to get it. You had to go visit her to get the stuff, like I made barbecue sauce, but you have to come see me. But I think about that kind of legacy that she left. And for me, I want to be like that. I want people to remember, remember that I was the one who gave all these bags to foster care. I was the one who did this. And, that it's something that I'm remembered. Yes, sure, being remembered for the pageants is great, but that's not what I want to be. When hopefully I'm a grandma one day, that they, that they remember me as a queen of bags, and the things that I did for others.
What advice would you give to young girls watching you?
The advice I would give to them is follow their dreams. Like, no dream is too big, no dream is too small. If you have a passion for something, whatever it is, don't give up on it. Follow it, follow pursuit. And I always say, find those big girls, that have the same mindset as you, the ones that you have the same liking to, especially, like to our littles and our teens that are looking into pageantry, or they're looking into giving back. Like, find somebody who has the same likes as you. Like, if you like giving back to the animal shelters, find a big girl queen that does that, and say, let me partner with you, because they're going to absolutely, want to help you. And I've partnered with so many younger girls over the years. And it just makes my heart smile when I see someone, younger wanting to give back, or someone older. Yeah, I don't care who it is. If they want to help, I want them to come help, and I want them to have that passion. So really, it's just find out who you are and don't be afraid of it.
Oh, yes. What is something people might not know about you? What's a little fun fact that maybe you haven't said?
Oh. Well, I already said it a little bit earlier, but most, now is that I'm a cross country coach.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It's funny, because I'm this, kind of prissy, girl, but I'll get out there and we've got our middle school kids that we will run with. We did it as a result. There wasn't a coach. The former coach was not going to come back this year, and it was kind of a volunteer position, and our son wanted to run. Our oldest son had ran last year, and our youngest son was planning on running this year. And we found out that he's really good. And so we were like, well, we'll just do it. We'll figure it out. And so, we went to leading 17, fifth through eighth graders through cross country, and we did really well. And then somehow we are now track coaches too, which my husband and my friend Bridget are really the ones doing the most of the work. I call myself the administrator. I do all the all the text messages and order the shirts and did all that. I do all the coordinating.
You do the mom work.
I do the mom work, and they do the running part, the getting them ready for the meets. I'm I will coordinate everything, y'all, because it's hard for me to take off work to be there. Whereas when we run our cross country, we run on Saturdays and on Monday evening. So I'm I can handle that. But right after school, I'm not able to be there much. So, but most people probably wouldn't realize that about me.
When do you feel most confident or empowered?
Really, when I'm things like this, when I get to talk about the things I'm passionate about, it makes me feel very confident, and it makes me feel very proud of the accomplishments I've made. So I'm honestly the cross country coach and all that. That is something I've had to really step into. It's something I've not been as confident about because it's not something I've done for a long time. Whereas pageantry, I've been doing it for so long, and public speaking, that I'm pretty confident when I'm doing those things because I could talk all day about my nonprofit.
This question for you is, can you finish this sentence for me? Women's history is being written when?
Women's history is being written when we make a lasting impact in our world. I mean, any and everything we do, everything we show up and do. I mean, right now, this is women's history. Just me and you having these conversations. The women who are the forefront in their organizations, the women who are, leading in government, the women who are making an impact in our environment. It's just each and everything that we do, we are making a positive impact on women's history.